Hey family, we are back with I'm gonna call this a midterm review of the PSA Sabre Dagger. I was able to take it out to the range, was pleasantly surprised with the way it performed. So let me do a quick overview real quick for those of you who are not aware and didn't check out my first video. So Palmetto State Armory makes a Glock clone. This is based off the Gen 3 platform. Real quick to show you, that is empty. Empty. All right, safe distance off, right? The Sabre is their upgraded line of firearms. You get a laser stippled grip, you get a competition, we'll say more like a competition magwell, you get an upgraded trigger, you get window cuts on your slide, you also get nice dimpled serrations, you get an RMR cut, and you get suppressor height sights on here. All right, also they added to each one custom back plate. Mine's in 10. And then also you get a threaded barrel. Lastly, you get your choice of the frame that you want, the color. They have two camo colors, one a woodland green, this one's a desert camo. They call it peanut butter camo, or that's what they say on the reviews. Or you can go with all black. You can get the black barrel, threaded barrel, with the all black version, and with the woodland version you can get the 10 barrel with the black version, and then only with the desert camo version. So when I first seen it, for the most part I was pleased. Like, I was highly anticipating this gun. It looked nice. Like, the way they marketed it, it was pretty much going to be a custom gun straight from them. A lot of people would get their daggers, customize them themselves, and instead of doing that, you would get it customized through PSA. I was pleasantly surprised. I liked the feel of the grip itself. I felt like the grip at first felt a little cheap. Not that it was bad, but it was just compared to other grips. I was trying to compare it to my Zev OZ9. That's a stock, or MSRP is like $1,900. This is a $629 gun. I don't know why I was trying to compare the two, thinking it'd be the same. You big dummy. And like I said for my Springfield Echelon video, that grip felt a little cheap. This grip, to me, feels better. Not modular, but it feels better. You get the P-Mags, you get two of them with the extended base plate, which is a +5. So you get a 17 +5, which gives you 22 rounds. They come in black, but I had ordered the FDE ones because I knew they would look good with the gun, so that's what I went with. You get an extended slide release, if you can see that, slightly extended. I haven't had any issues with it hitting it or not being able to hit it, with no issues there. You also get your little gas pedals. They're small, but I guess you can use them depending on the size of your hand. The railing for it, for the light, is a Glock railing. It isn't a 1913 rail, which I would have preferred because it used the option to move your light further up or further back. So this has a new trigger by PSA. It's better than the stock Dagger trigger. It's not as good as my Timney Alpha trigger, which you shouldn't expect it to be. And honestly, I don't think it's as good as my Zev trigger that came with the OZ9. I think it's just slightly below that. So that's your take up right there. That's your take up. And then you heard it. Crisp. Nice crisp break. All right, reset. It's about right there. That was it. Nice crisp break. So all in all, like I said, it was a pretty good gun. I was trying to compare it to my Zev OZ9. I don't own any Glocks, so I was honestly misrepresenting. I thought that for $629 plus tax, this gun should have been the most amazing thing out the box, and that was unrealistic. So I think people need to have a more realistic idea of what they're getting for me itself, right, compared to a standard Glock, this would be pretty good. I have one caveat to that, but as long as it functions like a Glock, that's a good buy. That's a steal, honestly. Now, one issue I did have was the mag release. So the stock mag release, this is an upgraded mag release, would not work with my Glock mags. So the Glock 17 or Glock 17 round mags, you could go in, you could put it in, but it wouldn't come out. Pressing it, you had to pull them out. And then with this not being a tactical mag well, is a little hard to do. I had already planned on switching it out, but I just put the extended Glock mag release on there. Glock mags, P mags, all worked with no issues at all. It was perfect. As far as one issue that I had or I didn't care for, other than the mag release, is the slide to frame fitment. I will say out of all the guns I own, this probably has the worst. Let's see if you can hear it. There's some wiggle to it.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
See if you can see that. You kind of press down on that. You have the little trampoline action going on, right? Comparing it to other guns, my Echelon's fit and finish is amazing. So for this, I was disappointed because it wasn't as good. Something else that I ran into an issue with was the RMR slide cut. Removing it was no issue, but they had stakes or dimples like the Zev slide does. So putting the plate for the Holosun 509T was not happening without some modification. So I had to ever so slightly drill out the holes, just slightly, like half of a quarter or a half of a millimeter on each hole for the 509T's RMR plate. I wasn't going to touch the slide, and I wasn't going to do anything to the actual 509T itself. The plate is the easiest thing to replace, so that's what I did. A slight drilling of the hole, maybe a quarter of a millimeter, if that, 1/10 of a millimeter, if that, and it was able to go on. I can't even get it back off, it's on there so tight. I was able to get that on. Now, no, you cannot co-witness. That's not happening. The 509T and probably almost every other mailbox type of sight optic will not allow you to co-witness. So here, let me show you some footage of the range. Put 250 rounds through it because a lot of people were having issues with it malfunctioning, having ejection issues with it, and then some failure to feed and some magazine issues. Like I said, I fixed the magazine issue. Before I get to the range day footage, first thing is this: never put a gun in your EDC rotation until you've test fired it. So anywhere from, I would say, 500 rounds. If you haven't put 500 rounds through it, then it shouldn't be your EDC. Message. Second thing, you should do bullet barrel test. So what you should be doing is taking the round, right, and seeing if it goes in there, and then if it will come out on its own. If it's in, if it won't drop in, you got to push it in there, there's an issue. If it doesn't come out when you tip it over, there's an issue. You're gonna have problems probably ejecting this round. A problem with it not going in the battery. So you should always do that test with your barrels before you even go to the range, just to make sure that's not an issue. Message! You should check all your magazines and make sure they're able to release. That they go in with no issues and they're able to release. That's an easy check, right? You should be doing that. Message! Make sure everything works and functions the way it's supposed to, because if it doesn't function correctly, what's the point of taking it to the range? All right, so here we go. Let me show you the range footage real quick. First P mag. No issue.
shoot again.
Welcome back, fam. 0 malfunctions, no failures to feed, no failures to eject, no double feeds, no nothing. This gun performed flawlessly for me. The one complaint I have about firing is this gun got hotter than any other gun I fired. And I've had guns where I would fire like 500 rounds easy, if not more. And I've never had a gun get that hot. It's either the fluting on the barrel, which doesn't allow it, it should allow it to dissipate heat. Well, let me take that back. So it probably is dissipating heat, but since we have window cuts and then also the slide, the frame isn't as great as it should be, it's allowing the frame to get hotter than it should. So it got to the point where my thumb ledges or my gas pedal area was too hot to touch. And so I got to the point where I had to stop that. I had to let the gun cool down. It was extremely hot, and I never had a gun get that hot before. My Echelon, my 2311, my Prodigy, my Hellcat, my Zev OZ9, all of them, none of them got that hot. As you can see in the video, I did all Glock mags. I did like 5 different Glock mags, 4 or 5, and then I did like 4 or 5 different PSA mags, and all of them worked. I had 0 malfunctions, everything ejected. PSA Dagger, for me, is a buy. I know for other people it's not because they had issues, but if you can get one that's already, PSA's already looked at, they overly, they need to work on a QC, honestly, they do. But if they've made sure that it's 100%, it's worth the buy. There's a reason why it sold out. People wanted it. I would recommend go get you one. I would recommend it over a Glock 19 or Glock 19, well, Glock 19X, Glock 45. I'd recommend it. Now, would I recommend it over my Zev OZ9? Hell no.
Got him! Got him!
My Zev OZ9 is the shit, honestly. That's the best gun. Honestly, better than my 2311, better than, well, I'll say it's tied with my Dan Wesson DWX. This gun for the price, compared to the Echelon, which I will be doing a review, a comparison of these, and my other gun that's supposed to be coming in soon. We'll do a battle of the ported and comped firearms in the future. I got a name for it and everything. It's going to be a great video. But again, don't let me hold you up any longer. Again, this is a go, this is a buy. If you can get one, get one. And then think about it this way. You want a great gun that you can use, put it in your EDC rotation if it works perfectly for you. And then if the cops confiscate it because you were involved in a self-defense shooting or something, it's only a $620 gun. Like my Zev OZ9 will not, as much as I love it, I would love to have it in my EDC collection. I don't want them confiscating that gun. And they're not gonna take care of it. So it's gonna come back with scratches and all types of things and stuff on there. Like, I love that gun to death. So I wouldn't want them to confiscate that. But I'd be fine with them confiscating this. So if you think like me, it's a good reason to get one, go ahead and get you one. But let me get off this. I appreciate your time. I appreciate the subscribers. I appreciate the likes. Please share all that algorithm YouTube bullshit that they usually say. All right, let's go ahead and end this. Appreciate yourself, appreciate those you love, appreciate those that love you, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.